However, his reaction to these clips is anyone's guess. Something tells me it's not an LOL moment though. Putin's schedule is as intense as any world leader's schedule, and it's something planned months in advance and therefore isn't super easy to just change on a whim. In some rare cases, things are planned years in advance. Now that's some organization. It's noted that the day is divided into blocks of 15 minutes, which can be reserved for anything from calls to meetings or events. Putin famously hates meetings, kind of like some of those big CEOs we're also familiar with, so he actively avoids them as much as possible. If you're wondering how Putin manages to get from home to work in order to keep up with an intense schedule, well, he's got his own road. I know that sounds like, oh, a road he always uses and is cleared when he needs it, but no. He has a road that nobody but him and his motorcade can use. Now that's power. This private road means he can get from his home to the Kremlin in under 25 minutes. Most of his time is spent either at home or at the Kremlin, so it makes for convenience. If he needs to travel anywhere else, like the airport, the roads are cleared pretty easily. But that's another thing he avoids at all costs: evenings. If it wasn't obvious from the time of day he wakes up, Putin is a night owl. He prefers staying up later to work as he believes it's when his mind is most active and when he's sharpest. He enjoys a meal prepared by his personal chef and continues working into the night. In addition, he also enjoys some pistachio ice cream, which is known as his favorite. He even gifted the president of China, Xi Jinping, with a gift of pistachio-flavored ice cream at a meeting once. If you get ice cream from Putin, consider yourselves friends. Putin will return home at midnight unless he's returned home earlier and chosen to work from his home office over the Kremlin. At home, he will either continue working or relax. If you think he works hard, then be glad you're not one of his couriers who has to work late. While many envy the people who hold such a prestigious and up-close position to the Russian leader, not many seem to be aware of just how intense this job can really be. Putin doesn't drink, except for the odd occasion when he enjoys a glass of wine at foreign diplomatic receptions. But considering the country's long history of social issues due to alcoholism, many of the top-ranking Russian leaders have sworn off of the fiery water they're known for. Outside of being a leader, Putin isn't known for much else. He's got 2 daughters, but nobody knows how much of a relationship they share. The truth is, everyone knows a lot more about his dogs than they do his own flesh and blood. He has a Labrador, Akita Inu, and a Karakachan. Of course, Putin loves his dogs, and in one instance, when his dog Yume, the Akita Inu, barked at a Japanese reporter, he gave her a treat. But as we're aware, Putin isn't a fan of the free press. While we're sure Putin doesn't want to do so, eventually even he has to sleep. As it stands, Putin is single after splitting from his wife of 30 years, Ludmila. Since 2013, he's been a single man with little time and a whole country in his hands. I'd say he's got a lot of other things to focus on besides a relationship. Come 3 a.m., Putin is in bed, drifting off into the night. Something tells me he doesn't dream, but if he did, it would likely be about something we're not ready to hear. And speaking of things you're not ready to hear, click this video to find out what a day in the life of